One question that you might have is, what is the Enneagram? And a lot of people think of it as just as some system to break people down into 9 types. Well, that's an element of it. But the Enneagram actually is a lot more to it than that. There are 9 points. It's on a geometric figure, a circle, which represents unity, the unity of consciousness, the unity of God, the unity of reality. It's got a triangle in it, which represents manifestation, things being here, appearing as something in the world. And then it's got this funny little hexad, which represents that everything in the world is changing and evolving and becoming something else, and how everything that's in the world is in a constant process of change. Now, the original uses of the Enneagram were not just about typing people. They were to teach us a deeper way of using our consciousness to see past our conditioned responses to reality, to see reality and ourselves and each other more as we actually are, not as our psychology would suggest.
So, there are these traditions, like in the East, they talk about people doing a path of awakening as a householder, somebody that's just living in their life, but they're actually waking up to their deepest potential and consciousness. And George Gurdjieff, who figures prominently in the movement of the Enneagram, used to talk about fourth way living, which is that you live in the world. You don't retreat from the world. Christ talked about being in the world, but not of it. So there's a feeling in the challenge of this time of how can we accelerate the capacity of more people to be living as creation itself, as presence itself, I might say as love itself, as wisdom itself. And in my life, I have felt in my own search that 2 of the things that have made the biggest difference, because they have a universal energy, they are not dependent upon a particular culture or dogma or belief system, is just conscious breathing. And the other one is the Enneagram. We know that the Enneagram, we can find traces of it way back in ancient Egypt. We lose the thread sometimes, but we pick it up again in ancient Greece and Plotinus. We then pick it up with the Desert Fathers and Evagrius, and then we pick it up again with George Gurdjieff, and then moving into the Jesuits, and then people like Russ and Don Riso and Helen Palmer and Claudio Naranjo and Oscar Ichazo and David Daniels picking it up in modern times. And why has that survived all that time? There is something about the perennial wisdom of pointing to creation arising as 9 essential energies that are not binary, are not in polarities, that are arising in a triadic creative form that can be applied to anything. We can take our practices of yoga, qigong, Buddhism, anything. And this helps us see the ways that we have been deceiving ourselves from the real awakening, the authentic awakening. And so at this time, I think Russ and I just feel like, we love the world, and we love our species, and we love all species. And it just feels like our aim here is, how can we accelerate this incredible meeting of the vertical and the horizontal using these universal ways of understanding how we deceive ourselves from that and how we could authentically embody it. And that's why we want to do this program that is really a program about deep inner transformation, and that the teachings are useful if they are supporting our clarity about how to do that deep excavation inside of ourselves and truly wake up.